Welcome to News Inside, everybody. Ella, you've been over here for a while. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
All right, you went to see the Queen?
Oh, no.
Okay. The King?
I rather went to see Trump.
Philip, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so the Royal Rumbles going on in the House and the Senate continues. Senator Natasha's issues with Akpabio. There was an a way of recall that was initiated in the senatorial district. But before then, yesterday, there was some issues at the National Assembly. There was a public hearing on the case of assault, and obviously Kwesili attended the hearing. I think he's among the panel of women that went to the National Assembly, and a particular senator, Womboshi also, they had an altercation, and the senator said, she cannot talk to me like that because in the ranking, in political status, I am higher. But that's what went down yesterday. But suddenly, in a way of comfort to the Nigerian public, INEC brought out a guideline of how a senator or an elected legislature can be recalled. Very stringent. Philip.
Well, Nigeria is full of political drama in this season, and more of drama will come up in the days ahead. Yes, it's true. The Senate Committee on Ethics sat yesterday wherein the women led by former Minister of the Federation, Obi Ezekwesili, led a team to in defense of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and what ensued is better not to be mentioned. You know, the so-called senator from Ebonyi State that went Besket is a young man of 42 years. He was born in 1980. And he came out on the telly, on Arise TV, to apologize and withdraw his statement, saying that Obi is old enough to be, his mother. And again, I listened to that Arise television. If you look at it, both parties actually lose it. They lost what it means to appear.
That's a constraint.
Yes, in a public domain, you need to control your emotions. Neither Obi nor the senator can be judged to be right, because when you're in the public space and the position they both hold, they should know that they are, people look up to them. They're supposed to show maturity, but they never did that. Coming to the Kogi Central, shenanigan of recalling Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, on flimsy excuses. INEC, National Commissioner for Information and Education, came out to say, look, yes, there's a petition before us, but they have not met with the requirement, so we cannot proceed with that recall. That the process is well spelled out, both in the 1999 Constitution, the Electoral Act as amended in 2022 as amended, and even in their guideline and their regulation. For the first time, INEC has found their voice. They have had cause to record to their books to say that, look, if you must do anything, you want us to do anything for you, must play by the rules. Let's hope that they will continue in this vein in the days ahead. We don't know what will transpire. Whether the Godfather will call them to order or they will allow them to do their work is yet to be discovered.
Well, one of the things they did yesterday was that they brought out the guidelines. The guidelines, I read it. I was looking at it with one of my colleagues. Stringent by the rule. I mean, they wrote a letter to that effect to the people that want a recall. They said they must set up the booths. Every party must have agents. They must do it in every month, do the election in every ward. I mean, stringent condition. I think INEC, for the first time in a long time, has followed what sets them up, because every commission has what sets them up. Eli.
He has just said it. They have started, probably because they've not been called, or because they've not been given their own portion of the money that will make them just look the other way around, which is the usual thing they do. Like the way the National Assembly rush into approving the suspension of the elected officers in a River State. We all know processes have been abused in this country in different quarters. So like I just mentioned, I won't be surprised if INEC, of course, everything that had gone wrong, it's not as if the people do not know what was supposed to be done. But because of influence, they've been either been influenced or they've been given some things, to entice them. So let's watch. On what basis are they trying to recall Natasha? That she felt her right was being abused or she was being sexually harassed, and the petitions she wrote and then the questions she brought forward has not been answered. But like INEC have started, like he just mentioned, let's hope for the first time, in a disappointing way, they might end up doing something that will be done, and people may say, well, this has been done right. And then coming to talk about what happened yesterday in the National Assembly. You see, I am not in support of insult in any way. The truth is this: no matter how old you are, as a woman, there are things you don't do in public. If you can tell your husband or your children, shut up or keep quiet. In African setting, in our culture, we don't see a woman talking to a man in such manner.
No. It's not. It shouldn't be as a result of talking to a woman. It should be as a result of doing what is either right or wrong.
I listened to the video as well.
She could have done it. She could have done it to another woman, and it's wrong.
Good.
So
the young man gave an excuse much later that was what angered him. But the question here is this: for crying out loud, you're a public servant, a senator for that matter. You're a public servant. And you see how it is done is this. As a senator, you are looked at as the governor of your constituency, representing your state, your people, at the National Assembly. So is it that if everybody talk to you as a public servant, you react, you just go react, and that means if you had a gun on him, you will shoot the woman? If the woman was wrong, should he not have controlled himself as a public servant?
Okay, I think prior to this time, the particular senator from Ebonyi State has been speaking on the side of the Senate president, and it could have been as a result of that they already had a premonition or acrimonies were also there before this time. It's possible that's why Obi reacted that way, and the guy too, the senator as well, wanted to stay on his ground and said, you can't just talk to me like that. They were already heated matters. Philip.
Yeah, you see, something cannot happen without anything.
Yes.
At the basis. The Senate Committee on Ethics have been seen by the Natasha group as being biased. What
is it only Natasha or the whole public?
The whole country. What is expected of the National Assembly or the Senate is to set up an independent committee to oversee this matter, and not the Senate committee that has also already been judged to be biased. And what happened when they came in, that's the big group, the Senate committee was asking them to take an oath because something must have happened.
Yes.
And they said, no, we can't take oath. This is not an oath-taking thing. But the Senate is saying that this is their environment and this is the rules. You must play by the rules. The issue is this. As a distinguished senator, he wasn't the chairman of the Senate committee.
Yeah.
If he feels so offended as a distinguished member of the Senate, he should have recalled to the chairman to call Obi to order. But he took over the show and he went back. So it's a very sad thing. You can't run away from the fact that there was tempers were already high before that table. Because how can you suspend somebody without sitting? Yes. And people are coming you. How can you be a judge in your own court? They were the people who took decision that was offended to the group, the women group or the Natasha's group. It's the same people are going to preside over this same complaint. I mean, you expect the Okwetele's group to be aggressive.
Yes.
So you can excuse her.
Wait, before I turn to Eli, I want to ask you a question. The Senate or the National Assembly used to be a body that is called the defender of democracy. All of a sudden, I don't know if you remember that Okadibo's era, even Wagbara, Ken Namani, they were like defenders of democracy. Even during what's it called?
Pius.
Pius Ayim.
Or Bukola Saraki.
Bukola Saraki. I mean, they were defenders. They balanced.
Even David Mark. You can't see this kind of
thing. But since the time of the last Senate President Lawal to this one, in fact, Lawal has even spoken on this matter and said that we can't do 6 months for a senator to, I mean, these people are not represented. His voice was shouted now. What has become of the Senate?
You see,
just in a few words.
You know, I said it before. You know, if you look at the Senate, all that you have mentioned, you know, the Senate stopped being Senate when the proper APC took over the leadership of the Senate. You will agree with me that Bukola Saraki was not an APC Senate president.
Yes.
You understand?
It was not.
Yeah, so I also said on this table yesterday that, look, we all know, if we can recall back our mind, how Akpabio become a senator.
Yeah.
We cannot say in a clear term, I stand by my word that Akpabio is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because the rules are clear. When parties are to go for election, there are periods of purchase of form, periods of primaries, closure and nomination and all of that. We never had Akpabio participated in any form of becoming a senator. Rather, Akpabio's aspiration was to become a president. After they have finished senatorial primaries in all political parties, especially in the APC where he belonged, the presidential election where he stepped down, they never declared a by-election in Akwa Ibom, whether Akwa Ibom Central, whatever central this is represented. I never had, or it's not any record.
They couldn't have at that time declared a by-election
to replace
the party.
Yes, yes. The party could say, okay, something happened, even though whatever they never did all of that. Yeah. How he became a candidate and eventually become the Senate president is questionable. So what do you expect? When you place illegality upon legality, what you expect to have all through is illegality. Because the matter of fact, it is only the illegality that works. And that's what is playing out at the Senate.
So, Eli, what can we do to the Senate? So that they would toe a part of honor? And I mentioned it here the last night, I think that was yesterday or the first day. I said, is it that the voice of opposition in the Senate is dead? Because we have a lot of senators that are in the opposition. But it's like, at the House right now, they are acting, they are what you call bipartisan decisions in the House, when it to the common interest of the whole Nigerians. But when it comes to selfishness of the ruling party, the opposition stands up and they put it on vote and they make sure they don't get through with it. But this one now, we now have one Senate. No ruling party, no opposition. Where are we going to?
One party system. That's just it. He just made an analysis here. Even those who are not politicians also know you cannot just wake up one day and be declared a winner of an election that you never participated in. But because it has happened and it has come to stay, that is because the power that be have a way of doing things. Under APC, what is not part of our party constitution and nation INEC guideline has become, for somebody who never bought a form, not even participating, never bought a form to contest an election,
now became a candidate.
Became a candidate and became the president of the Senate.
Don't also forget that.
And senators are lawmakers.
And the commissioner of INEC that
conducted the election is in prison. And the man that means he's in prison because what he did was wrong. And the man whom you wrongly brought is now a lawmaker. So we don't have distinguished senators in Nigeria today. What we have is selected, elected, anointed senators. What do you expect? For a senator who is been accused of harassing a married woman, and the next thing is this: the woman want they want to shut her up, and then the other women who feel that no, this is not right, have come. Like you rightly said, the people whom you said what they did is wrong, They are coming to, they've come to petition them. And the same people are the people you have brought on board to listen to them and agree if what they have done was wrong or is right. What do you expect? Under the leadership of a senator, a Senate president who never bought form to become senator, that means he never contested the election. So what are we have is an indirect coup on democracy, where the executive can just decide who be and who not be, not the people. So what do you expect?
Now, on our last landing note, we started with INEC before we went. INEC on its own, like we said, has found its voice. Do you think they will continue in this trend?
Well, you know, in my opening speech, I said it's a good thing they found their voice to say that, look, everybody must play according to the books. The rules and regulations are there. But the times ahead of us, we tell. Because INEC, we know them. You know, prior to the 2023 general election, they were off-circuit election in Osun State, which was well conducted. The IRF was working, the results were there before they finished. We already seen the result, and we're all happy, believing that INEC has come to do a good job, and they somersaulted, and it's even worse. To confirm what they did in the presidential election, in all the off-circuit election in Edo and Ondo State, they went crude. They have made this statement yesterday. What happened tomorrow is unknown to us. There might be glitches tomorrow, and INEC will go back to say, because there's a glitching, so all that they have submitted is correct, so they are doing the record process. You can never trust INEC. It's just like people say, never expected light always when they say mention NEPA. So that's INEC.
But it's possible they have repented, and I particularly.
Let them prove it to us.
They've proven it now.
No, they haven't.
Have you seen that letter they wrote?
It is not new. That is what is in the books. You see, that's what I'm telling you. It's always in the books.
But they never brought it out.
Yes.
But for the fact that they brought it out yesterday was...
How would they told you that there are going to be beavers and the irons and they did it in Osun State? What happened thereafter? It's INEC.
Let's be positive about tomorrow.
Well, I can't be positive. You are free to be positive because I have known INEC. They are the cause of the Nigerian suffering because they will make what is not real to be real when they want to. There can be glitches at any moment.
Eli, your final take, INEC.
If INEC rightly, just as they said over this petition, that the process and everything was wrong. It's not the process. It's not the right channel. In the first place, having discovered that the petition, that means only few persons would have sat down to gather whatever they gather and brought before INEC that they want to record.
In fact, you know what?
Is it not enough for them to have even say, okay, this petition is null and void?
No. You submitted a petition. Technically, they have told you that the petition is null and void. So now, if they continue in that trend, when I read it yesterday, my head was sort of big and my heart was really glad.
Until they conducted 2027 general election, we will know whether they have repented or not.
To me, over this petition, hence they've discovered that the process and then the materials brought did not meet the requirement. Then they should
they didn't even tell them it doesn't meet the requirement. What they told them is that we will go to every polling booth in every ward and we will find out these signatories.
That is what is in the books.
That is what is in the book, and that.
But they spelled it out to us for the first time. I'm actually happy with that.
So invariably, we should just understand now that there's not even going to be any recall of Natasha, because
Definitely.
I don't know the number of persons they claim. How, and then they should make, even if they will go ahead, it should be public. They should not say restricted to the petitioners alone. Let everybody see. If you see the signature that is on this book, and now a duplicate of it is brought, you should also know.
I don't think by this time INEC will go back on their word. I don't think so.
No, under the leadership INEC still have, and under the executive will have, everything is possible.
For them to have the guts to bring out these guidelines, well, we'll keep on looking, and we will hope that INEC will stay through and stay with their voice that they found at this time. We'll be right back on News Insight.